everybody. I'm here, you're there. Anyway, yeah, a couple more songs. You know, I know I'm going through this. This is a longer video. I want to go through this complete. I don't want to do one song here, Pink Floyd, one song there. I want to get a concept of like the context of what they were, the space they were in. And I think this was recorded over 2 weeks, only at night, I believe. I'll go into it later afterwards, do a brief summary. But Red Queen.
Way to the border in the shadow under the trees, down by a stream in a hollow. Turn your head, feel the breeze, and the Red Queen waiting for the news, for the White King to move, and the balance hung upon the head of one who tried to stay within the shadows and keep his undercover secret tight.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it real quick just because we got the intro. Finally, we got Richard Wright piano playing the sort of chord progression. Yeah, it's a simple chord progression, but yeah, it's into their sort of country pastoral textures. So I love it. And David Gilmour, you know, I'll be honest, and I could not always identify who was singing these songs, whether it's Roger Waters or David Gilmour. Sometimes I don't know. I just never thought to, you know, see who it was or what the difference was. But yeah, David Gilmour obviously has like there's a very sweet tone, and he's probably doubled up on here, so it almost sounds even more just soothing and sweet, like so soothing. And with the piano, I love the beginning. When the guitar comes in, it's a little jarring, and I'm being obviously overly critical to this somehow, you know, and this is just my instant feeling, or sort of maybe I had a different feeling when I first heard it, and maybe it's different, you know, over time. But yeah, the guitar, it sounds like something off of their other, like more, so I don't know, it seems like but yeah, I like it, but yeah, the electric guitar took me out of that soothing a little bit, so I'm like 90% sort of down with it, but I wouldn't have been disappointed if they had it a little bit more subdued. Anyway, let's continue that.
They led him in by a back way into a chamber reserved for the Queen.
There's a guitar back there somewhere.
She took the note that he gave her, opened it slowly, and started to read. Run to the treasury and bring me back some gold. Give it to the pawn who came, she cried. She says the White King thinks the game of chess is wrong, and all the courtiers crowded round, and this is what she told the gathered throng. Go to the store by the dungeon, take all the red paint, take all the white. Make up a new born color, cover your neighbor, and we'll be alright.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah, at the end, I liked where the piano was starting to go. It was kind of to get like even more a little, what do you call it? Not herky jerky, but a little bit more country blues. And the guitar, I do like it. It seemed a little on top of the mix. It was kind of like a little bit. I wish it was pushed back just a little bit, or maybe put on one side or somewhere, because it just seemed it was you couldn't not take it into account. It seemed like it was over covering everything else that was the vocals, the keyboard, the drums. So yeah. All right, so that was the Red Queen theme. Again, I talked about it. I really liked the addition of the piano. There was some guitar in the background, just kind of lightly strumming. It wasn't kind of hard to hear, but it just sort of laying the background foundation. So I love it. Yeah, the electric guitar was a little over the top for me to listen to that, to make that put that on my steady sort of light Pink Floyd listening, as much as say a Rain in the Country, Crumbling Land type of piece. So anyway, this is a longer video. Obviously, this is we're doing the whole album with alternate session tracks. So last one, and this one's going to be more instrumental, more off the beaten track of Pink Floyd. I haven't listened to it. I had listened to a snippet of it, and as far what I could tell, I think it's just another Richard Wright piece. But we're kind of completists here. Let's do the whole thing. So this will be the last piece. We got Sleep. Okay. No, doesn't really fit there. Oh, okay. I really hate to pause this because there's really no good place to do it. It's sort of this just stream of consciousness piece interlude. But anyway, quickly, just to give I think it was one instrument in the beginning. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I didn't notice it, but I thought it was one instrument in the beginning, and then I realized at some point that there was two, one more prominent in this ear, and then one that was more center left or center right, depending on how you're looking at this. And then there was, like 30 seconds ago, I could have swore there was like a little ocean sound. It was really subtle, but I thought I heard that, so I'm not 100%. I'd have to listen to it again, but I'm not going to do it right now. But yeah, obviously this piece is meant to be super. This is like, if I could put this on a loop, when you're trying to just relax, or you're trying to like, take a cat nap or something like that. Sounds so nice. I don't know what. Yeah, the keyboard. It almost sounds like electric piano. But obviously it's got like a really rounded sound. It's not really sharp. It's super. I'm not sure what keyboard he used for this. Could have been, I don't know, what's the other. I'm trying to think of that other keyboard popular one in the 70s. But this was 69, so I'm not 100% what this was. But it sounds like an electric piano, but it's got a very rounded, smooth sound. But anyway, let's finish this off. Another little bit. Goes really fast. All right. Yeah, so that was called Sleep. Again, probably another like improvisation. It had a couple keyboards, same tone, same everything. Sounded pretty close. Yeah, again, I don't know the instrument. Maybe it was run through like had a slight, not tremolo, but the maybe vibrato setting. Anyway, now that piece, obviously, the two Richard Wright pieces, nothing. Definitely for a soundtrack, right? So it wouldn't be on their regular studio piece, their studio albums like Metal or maybe Umaguma could have any of that stuff because they are obviously wide open in what they had on that album. Anything goes. Anyway, that's Zabriskie Point. And there's a couple other pieces. Obviously there's a bunch of outtakes. There's different edits of some of those same songs, but I took listened to the main ones that had the most sort of finished, theme, had the most sort of well thought out idea of what the song was going to be. But yeah, if you haven't listened to this before, haven't heard all the songs, all the outtakes, I would definitely recommend listening to it, especially for, there's only so much Pink Floyd, so if you like Pink Floyd, you're going to like some of these extra pieces, because and it's their earlier period. It's when they were interested in doing soundtracks. So Yeah, it's looked like so. Richard Wright, Rick Wright, Richard Wright. Yeah, Richard. He did have something to say about this album. So he's the one that said. So he said we each had a piece of music, and we did about say 6 takes of each. So yeah, obviously he had a couple different pieces on that. He had the sleep, and then he had love scene, keyboard, and then I believe it was the piano. Yeah. Antonio, I forget his name. He said he was not hard to work with, but he was a perfectionist. He was with us in the studio every night for 2 weeks, from 9 in the evening until 8 in the morning. So every night for 2 weeks, just to get about 20 minutes of music. And obviously there was the outtakes we listened to. So I'll say 20 minutes of music. Maybe that's all the outtakes, I'm not sure. But it was hard, but it was worth it. It's hard to say what I thought of our music in More, the previous soundtrack. Or actually, I think it was early in that year. So yeah. Anyway, I'll finish this. Since I didn't see it with the film, so Richard Wright did not see the music in the film, so it was hard to gauge, that quality of it. But it said apparently it works quite well. As an album, I don't really much like it. That was More. So February 1969, they came out with More, which was a soundtrack, and I haven't seen either of these movies, so I don't, how they incorporated it into the film. I don't know how well it works or it doesn't work. But it's hard to say with Pink Floyd because obviously I couldn't watch it now, and not know Pink Floyd, not know the music, not feel like it's going to take away from the movie to some degree. So it wouldn't be much. It'd be hard to see it working very well and feel like it was a perfect mesh of video and music. But More was, I said Roger Waters wrote all of More, but gave Gilmour the vocal duties on that whole album. That was February 1969. June 1969, they came out with Umaguma, and there they had mixed writing credits. Roger Waters sang portions. He sang Grantchester Meadows. Gilmour sang The Narrow Way. Again, these I've listened to a long time ago, whenever I first was introduced and was going through their discography and things like that. But I know I liked Grantchester Meadows because it has a similar to this. It has the very light, almost like kind of pastoral, and I think I've learned to play Grantchester Meadows. I really like the melody. I like the guitar part on that. What Gilmour does. I think it's classical guitar maybe.